Arr, Hot dog.
Well, hey there, dog. How's it going?
Hey, George, I'm glad to see you, and I'm glad to see you.
Do we have a story today?
And we like you.
Do we have a story today?
We have a story about superheroes.
Ooh.
Right here. Here's our first superhero. Oh my gosh. That was in a war you maybe have never heard of. World War II. Whoa. World War II started off with Captain America. Can you believe that?
Oh, I know another superhero. Superdog.
Yeah, Superdog. There's been a few.
Yep, but I know another one too.
Where?
Well,
You gonna go get him?
I'm gonna go get him.
Okay. He's gonna get
I'll be
the
right
other
back, boys.
superhero. Okay.
Yeah, you're blocking my path. Hey, bye.
Bye, George. Okay, you know what? I like looking at this. Let me look. Check that out. Oh, wow. That's right. So this was Captain America in World War II, and now today it's a lot different looking, isn't it? And there were some other superheroes. Oh,
Faster than a speeding bullet.
hi, Rudy.
Hey.
You're
You
the
like
other
my-
superhero?
Yeah, you like my superhero outfit?
What's this you got on?
That's my superhero.
Looks like Superman or something.
Well, I'm a Superman. That's right.
Well, I like all the DC and Marvel and all of them. You know, I like them all. Hey, are you from related to the Hulk? He's green, so maybe you're related to the Hulk, huh?
Well, he's like maybe a distant cousin.
Distant cousin. Well, we're going to tell a story about superheroes today.
Oh,
really? But it's the first superheroes, way before Captain America or Superman or Marvel or DC or any of them. Really? Well, go for it.
Well, let's go
It's
for
about 5 Chinese brothers. Hey, can I see you later?
See you, George.
Okay.
See you, dog.
Oh, you gonna listen? Okay.
Bye, George.
See you later. Okay, hot dog. Doggone. Well, 5 Chinese brothers, 500 years ago, way before television, movies, or any of this other stuff has been going on, there were superheroes. And these 5 Chinese brothers, they could do something special. Each one, they were brothers that learned to cooperate. And that's how they got this amazing situation taken care of. What happened was the first Chinese brother, he could hold the sea in his mouth. The second Chinese brother looked just like him. He had a neck like iron. The third Chinese brother had skin that could not be burned. The fourth Chinese brother, he could stretch his legs almost as long as he wanted. And the fifth Chinese brother, he could hold his breath almost as long as he wanted. So it happened that the first Chinese brother that could hold the sea in his mouth, he'd go down to the seashore every day and come back with these amazing fish that nobody else could get. And one little boy, he was bored. He wanted to do something different. He wanted to know how he got those fish. So every day he bugged him, "Can I please go down and be there with you? Can I find out what you do?" "It's a secret." "Please." "Well, you got to know how to obey." "I can do both. I can keep secrets and I can obey." Well, after a long time, he talked the Chinese brother into letting him go down to see what happens and how he gets this amazing fish. The first Chinese brother, he went down there and he began to tell the little boy that he was going to swallow the sea. "What?" "And you, little boy, have to obey in an instant. I can't hold the sea as long as I want. It just builds up pressure and then it lets go, and you've got to watch for me to call you forth." The little boy says, "I can do that. I can obey in an instant." So the Chinese brother leaned over and he began to swallow the sea.
Really?
The little boy looked down there. "Oh my gosh, look at these fish. Look at these seashells." He starts putting them in the bucket. "We're going to be rich." And then he looked over. "There's a pirate ship. Oh my gosh, we're going to be rich. I'm going to run out there and see what's happening in the ship." And he looked in there. There was diamonds, there was rubies, there was gold, there was silver, there was necklaces and bracelets, and he started putting them all over his heads and over his neck and around his waist and in his socks and in his underwear, and everywhere he could find he could stick his jewelries. And he looked back and the Chinese brother was like turning purple. He wanted him to come back. But the little boy said, "Just a minute, we're going to be rich And he started, I can hold a little bit more, and he kept stuffing his pockets and his shirts, and the Chinese brother couldn't hold the sea, and he. Well, when the Chinese brother went back to the village, the people said, "Where's that little boy?" Well, you're going to jail. And they locked the jail door, and the next morning they said, "That boy's not here yet. We're going to have your head if he doesn't show up." Well, he didn't show up all the next day, so finally they took him out to the guillotine, and they said, "Before we have your head, would you like to say anything before you go?" He said, "Yeah, I'd like to say goodbye to my mother." And so the Chinese brother ran over to his brothers, and they all looked just alike because they were all quintuplets, all had the same hair, all had the same clothes. They looked just like each other. And he went to the brother that, do you remember? Had a neck like what? Yeah, iron. And so he came back, he looked just like him. He put his head down on the chopping block, and they raised the axe, and it went shh, and it bounced off. What? So they raised the axe again, shh, and it bounced off. What is this? Go back to jail. So they thought about it a little bit, and they said, "Okay, next day you're going to go out, and we're going to burn you at the stake." Yeah. So they took him out to the stake, and they said, "What do you think? Would you like to say anything before you go?" "Yeah, I'd like to say goodbye to my mother." So he ran home, switched places with the other Chinese brother, and they all cooperated, remember? And they looked just alike. And so the Chinese brother that had what? Skin that could not be burned was tied up to the stakes, and they lit the stakes, and the fire was coming up, and he was standing there, and finally the fire burned down to ashes. They said, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Can't have his head, and he won't burn. Go back to jail." Next day they say, "We're going to take you out to the seashore. We're going to put you on a boat and dump you into the water. You'll drown. You can't stay there all day." So they took him out the next day from the jail, took him to the boat, and they said, "What? Right. Would you like to say anything before you go?" "I'd like to say goodbye to my mother." "Yes, thank you very much." And so, yeah, he ran home, and he switched places with the brother that had legs that could stretch almost as long as he wanted. So they took him out, dropped him into the water, and the water was just under his chin. All day, his legs had stretched down to the bottom of the sea. And they pick him up, ring, his legs are back, and they put him back in jail. What is this? We can't have his head, we can't burn him, he won't drown, but no one can live without air. Tomorrow we're going to put you in an airtight oven, the one that's not on, just an airtight place, and nobody can live without air. So the next day they brought him out, and you know what they asked? "Would you like to say anything before you go?" "Yes, I'd like to say goodbye to my mother." It's only right. So he runs home, switches places with the last Chinese brother that looked just like all the others, and he came back, and they put him into the oven and locked the door. And they waited, and they waited, and they waited, and they thought, "Oh, I think we'll have a picnic down here, yeah." And so they have a little Colonel Sanders or something, and then they have some pizza, and then they decided to take a nap, and they fell asleep through the whole night. Oh my gosh, nobody can live without air that long. But the next day they came over, and they opened the door, and he jumped out. And there he said, "Good morning, everyone." And so they said, "You must be innocent and has done nothing wrong. Go home and live with your mother." And so they did. They went home, and they lived happily ever after. They learned how to cooperate, and they did that all through that hard time they had together. And that's how it worked out. Next time we're going to tell you a story, a little bit of Spanish in it. Thanks for showing up, and thanks for watching.
Bye,
we love you guys.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.